Welcome to Thriving Tribesmen. My name is Kuri, your host, and I'm excited to be making this episode. One of the things that is very important within seduction, or at least when you understand seduction, is that we have to really define what seduction is. Most people think seduction is you kissing your partner or doing this touching before you actually have sex, which is part of it, but it's not what seduction is. Seduction is, and as I've been trying to redefine it, is you eliciting desire from your partner without having to touch them or kiss them or innuendos or in most cases without you sort of putting an ultimatum on them or you having to be upset to have sex. So there's all other things that I can put in there, which we are now bundling up as seduction, and as you see it within your relationship, you have to actually start looking at what are the principles that guide seduction, or at least move you within seduction. And there is two. And again, I said, I was speaking to somebody earlier today, as a side note, is that the content that we put out on these podcasts and the ones that we give away on our free strategy session is more valuable than the amount of content that is given when you pay for within our competitors. And the reason why is that we do this because I know you're going to need us to implement. So I can give you all the information, and a lot of you might be able to figure it out and do it by yourself, which is absolutely amazing. But generally, a large chunk of you guys will need our help. So this is why we can give out as much information as possible. We're never going to hold back. And I'm doing this because I need you to actually realize that the next thing I'm going to tell you is probably a game changer if you allow yourself to actually do it. So, and I had to preframe that. I need to tell you that so you can understand that this piece that I'm going to tell you is very, very valuable. So, when it comes to seduction, there's two guiding principles in seduction. One of them is compliance. So we talked about comfort the other day. You build comfort so she becomes comfortable, so she complies with you to moving within seduction. And then the next part that makes it more valuable and more exciting is that you have to allow her to invest within the seduction. Again, that's a skill which you have to do. So the most important guiding principles when it comes to the seduction is compliance and investment. If she's not doing if you're struggling to get her to comply, there's no point. You're not going to get any investment. So that seduction is probably sort of still needs a bit of work. So again, if you think about it if you go back to the episode that we talked about comfort the other day, is that you now realize that she's not complying because she's not comfortable. So you have to take a step back and actually start trying to figure out, how do I make her feel comfortable so that she can comply? And as she starts complying, how do I make her feel comfortable so she can start investing? And this is very, very important to understand. Once you can understand this space, and again, for you to actually do this, there's several things that obviously you have to learn, and we've talked about this in other previous episodes. So it has to be, you have to your body language, your voice tone. There's other things like even just understanding that you have to be completely divorced from the outcome is another one that is very important. So while you're doing all of this, you have to be able to still implement some of those things. So it becomes an iterative process, because most people, they don't seek compliance. They seek or they want compliance, but they don't allow their partners to feel comfortable with that compliance, and neither would they allow them to invest it, because they think if they do all the work within the seduction, then if the less work that the person does within seduction, the easier it is to get laid. But then actually works inverse. The fact that you've been trying to take ownership of all of the seduction and really not allowing it to be invested within it, is one of the things that makes her not excited, not feel inspired, and not feel like wanting to go back there again. It's within resistance that, well, if you imagine an eagle, the windier it is, the higher it can fly, because it's that resistance that the eagle gets. And it's similar, that if you want the seduction to actually work, she has to invest within it in order for her. That resistance where she has to push herself to invest within that seduction is what makes it exciting for her. So it's a very, very important concept to actually understand. If you want to learn more, go to our Facebook group, and it's called Tribesmen. And when you go there, you'll be able to learn all of these things that we're talking about. There's also a link to go to our calendar where you can get an opportunity to get a custom seduction blueprint. So we'll do it with you. We'll listen to what you have to listen to you about your relationship, where it's at, what you've tried, what you've been doing in order to fix it, and then we'll speak a little bit about your spouse, and then we'll detail a blueprint for you so you can go and do it. And again, it's not a sales call, it's an opportunity for us to learn, to see if we are a good fit. So I will give you that blueprint. It becomes an exercise and a homework that you can go and implement. You actually get to taste the product before you actually buy. You'll be given an opportunity to come for a second call, and when you do come for that second call, it will be an opportunity for us to see if we are a good fit, and to see if you actually qualify to come into the Reignited Men. If you do, we'll give you the opportunity to do so. If you don't want to join and you still want to continue working on blueprint, that's okay. So thank you very much for listening to us, and I'll be speaking to you guys soon. Take care.